moving up a little bit in the college football playoffs. So got to congrats Baron Morton, Coach McGuire, and the Texas Tech Red Raiders with a nice win over previously unbeaten BYU. Now moving up, I think they moved up to, are they 9 now in the poll? Right? I think I have them at 9. In the college football playoff poll, they are sitting at 6 right now. Wow. So they're moving on up. So got to give them some props right now. Watching them, they are pretty good. Again, you got to question some of their, some of their wins, but we'll see how that goes, and it'll play itself out. But as far as breaking news, I mean, some of the news this week that came out, I saw it earlier in the year, but now it's even getting more and more steam, is the Big Ten Conference bringing in some private equity into the realm of basically college football, where looking at some of the stuff with the private equity, there's a lot of like, okay, this is great because it's going to bring in more money, but also it's like how much control they're going to have over some of the decisions that are made. I mean, looking at some of the stuff, they're saying that they're only going to have control of some of media rights and some of the revenue streams, but they're going to, for that, they're putting out $2 billion into the Big Ten Conference. So if they give $2 billion, they control some of this stuff, which is how they'll make their money back. And, people are wondering, is this good now? And this deal is basically, I think it's a 10-year deal with this for the money. So in 10 years, is it going to be a bargain for them? So that's stuff that's going on with this. I don't know. What do you guys think about some of this stuff coming in here?
How much money do they need, man? I mean, I just feel like the NCAA makes a lot of money, especially the bigger schools.
Oh, this is not the NCAA.
It's the Big Ten specifically, but
this is the schools.
No, this is the commissioner of the Big Ten doing it for all of the schools, right? And you would think that if this makes any money at all or is the least bit successful, then you're going to see the other conferences kind of follow suit. Yep. So I just say you hear the stories of some of these football, when Penn State got hit with all the stuff after Sandusky, they're like, you guys don't understand. This is going to impact everything. Tuition, all these other sports live off of football. It's when you sit back and you look at currently, before any of this stuff happens, you sit back and you look at how much money these teams make playing football. I mean, how much more do you need? And I mean, I honestly
you got to be careful there, because you're looking at how much they make, but you also got to look at how much they put out, because the coaching salaries are still going up. You got to understand about whatever you get for a head coach, you can basically double that for the staff, for the whole entire staff of the coach. And then you still have, to run it, you got to maintain the stadium. You got to upgrade the stadium. You got to pay everybody that works in the stadium every week. There's a lot of, I don't know what the costs are. Again, I don't know all of them associated with it. But now on top of all that,
I read about
on top of, the money from that would normally come in, just basically going to the schools and helping fund some of the other sports in school, which we know is, the revenue schools, the revenue sports, I should say, being basketball and football, help fund a lot of the other sports in these schools.
All of them, really.
Yeah. I mean, none of them really make any money. And now, so I don't know. I don't know how it's all going to work out. I just know there's got to be ways that people are trying to get more money into their schools, because there's more and more money going out.
There was a couple ways that I read about it, and it was they're going to break it down into 3 tiers, meaning tier 1 with Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State's going to get $190 million. Tier 2, USC, Oregon's going to get $140 million, and Tier 3 is all the other Big Ten schools that are get $110 million, and then they're all going to be breaking down in a different part of equity and everything. But USC and Michigan don't agree with this.
Yeah, I don't understand how you say it. You say Michigan is not one of the top ones.
No, Michigan's the tier 1.
Okay.
Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State, and then tier 2, USC, Oregon, and then tier 3 is all the rest of the other schools.
See, what I don't understand with that is like you have these tiers, but I don't understand the tiers. I mean, what's the tiers? Like these are the teams that are winning the most,
I don't know. I guess just the way they
or bringing the most out of
yeah, they bring in the most money. They bring in the most money. I mean, like Penn. There's no. You look at like the West Coast. You look at Texas. There's a lot of big franchises to root for. If you live from like New York all the way down, like Penn State, everybody's a Penn State fan in the Northeast because who do we have to root for? Rutgers. So I mean, like these teams are huge. But again,
no, we root for Oregon, Texas, and Oklahoma.
Exactly. But I'm just but like I'm just saying, if you're giving a athletic director, an athletic program, $190 million, and there's going to be a decision made, and I'm being a skeptic here. There's going to be a decision made about a firing or a hiring or something to that effect. You're telling me there's not going to be a suit in the room with a vote or a voice or a percentage of something to say moving forward? Like it's a slippery slope, man. I don't know what the hell's going on anymore. The NIL stuff needs to get addressed in terms of that needs to be capped. Like it's the wild, wild west right now, and we're kind of benefiting from it because of the parity in the league, but it's going to start to take off in different directions.
Well, the problem with this is like there's two things about NIL. These schools are paying these kids, and none of it is NIL money. It's just their money giving to the kids that the school is making. That's the $20 million cap that we hear about.
Right.
And then we hear about NIL, whereas the kids with their agents are making their own money. When you see them all in their advertisements and their, like Arch doing his glasses commercials and his suit commercial, that's how he's getting paid. What is it? Almost $7 million. I mean, it's all that stuff on top of that. And there is no way to check. If you're not going to check that stuff, then I'm telling you, like I guess is it, like we talk about Oregon with the guys they're paying. Nike is paying guys individually, and they make a commercial. Oh, here you go. Make one commercial with the whole Oregon team. Here you go, guys. Here's $25 million. Like, I mean, it's how it's working. So we can't all say they're all playing by a equal playing field. It's like who has the biggest boosters, and that's all these coaches are going to care about once they come in there. Now, too, that we have all these jobs open.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
All right,
yeah,
so let's see where this leads us, and let's get into some football from last week, week 11 in college football. Basically the top game, I guess, of the week was number 8 BYU was undefeated going into Lubbock, Texas, taking on the Red Raiders. Red Raider defense was a dominant factor in this game, holding the previously undefeated Cougars to a season low 255 yards, forcing 3 turnovers. The Red Raiders had a lone touchdown that came really near the end of the first quarter, but Texas Tech, got a 5 field goals by their kicker. So they weren't scoring all the touchdowns in the world, but they were putting points on the board a lot. Barrick Morton Texas only had 1 touchdown, Texas Tech, and it was like a 9-yard pass from Morton to Caleb Douglas. And BYU's only score came late in the game when it was already decided, already had reach. So basically, Texas Tech just got the goose egg on them, and they were, they looked impressive. And that stadium, I'll tell you one thing, haven't really watched a lot of Texas Tech football, but watching that game, what an awesome stadium!
Oh yeah.
I mean, with the building right behind, you got Patrick Mahomes is hanging out on the second floor, like watching the game, and it just wraps around the corner of the end zone. I mean, it's sharp looking. It seems like Missouri. I think Missouri's under construction of doing. It looks like it would be the same thing with some of these stadiums, and listen, more and more money is going to be pouring into these places. So, BYU. I just think they just couldn't. Bear Bachmeier was again. He is filling in at quarterback there for what happened with them, with the whole thing with Retzloff and everything and all his issues. But Texas Tech run defense, their defensive line, they said it's one of the highest paid the highest paid D line in the country. I mean, they are impressive. I mean, they are right now. They think they're the top ranked defense in the nation, and as far as rushing, and they held BYU. L.J. Martin, who was the Big 12 leading in rushing yards a game, held him to 35 yards on 10 carries. So very impressive. I guess more of the Texas Tech Heisman campaign right now for linebacker Jacob Rodriguez, striking a Heisman pose during the game. These are what the guys do nowadays, get your name out there. So that's what Texas Tech is going to try to push a linebacker, which is, hey, good luck. Don't know if that's ever going to happen, but we'll see what happens. But he did have 2 takeaways and a season high 14 tackles. So you got to give the guy his props there.
He was awesome. He was all over the field. He did a great job.
What do you guys think, man?
I thought it was a great game. Go ahead, Maul.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying what you just said, Kite. Definitely a great game. I mean, the spread came in at 10.5, so kind of didn't really give BYU a shot in this one. But like you said, Zeke, defense was outstanding. 3 takeaways, but special teams, a record 5 field goals and a muff punt. So I mean, I'll be Joe Schmo towards the NIL, but there's definitely big turnaround for this Texas Tech defense with our Texas Tech team as a whole.
A lot of oil money over there. A lot of oil money in Lubbock.
Yeah.
Yep.
Texas teams are pulling in some coin too. So
yeah.
I don't know, man. I watched the game. I watched the whole thing. I thought it was a good game, but I was just like, I'm going to be a little bit of a homer here. I look at these 2 teams, right? Texas Tech, you got to tip your cap to them. Their only loss, their quarterback wasn't in the game. But, like, do we really think they belong where they belong in the rankings? BYU was undefeated, and in the conference, they're doing a great job. They're having a great year. And they're fun to watch for us specifically because they do a lot of stuff like we like. They're physical. They're downhill. They do all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Their run game got stuffed, and they were done. They just seemed like a little bit one-dimensional. And I just sit back and I say to myself, like, as good as Texas Tech looked against BYU, I'm like, who are the first 2 teams out right now? Oklahoma and what, Missouri? I don't know.
BYU.
BYU.
Yeah, BYU, right.
If you were to take Texas Tech, and this is a hypothetical, so it means nothing. If you were to take Texas Tech and they had to play Oklahoma 10 times in a row, Vanderbilt 10 times in a row, or Missouri 10 times in a row, do you think they're winning more than 5 out of any one of those teams? I think they're probably going to get their ass kicked a little bit. So again, it's nice that the Memphises and the South Floridas and the BYUs, and et cetera, they're all getting their day in the sun. But it's like, I just kind of feel like if you're a casual fan and you pay attention to any of these games, I feel like it's a 2-horse race in large part. We thought there was going to be some good ACC teams that were going to be in the mix. And I just feel like after watching and letting the seasons play out the longer and longer, it's like, give me a couple of top dogs out of the Big Ten and then give me the bad boys out of the SEC.
That's all.
And again, like, Texas Tech, tipped my cap to them. Their defense played great. They stuffed essentially a 260-pound backup quarterback and did a great job. And they're good. And they'll probably, are they a top 12 team? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see how it all works out.
Yep.
All right. So what do you got here, Coach Kite, on the Aggies and the Missouri Tigers?
This was a pick of mine. And I think everybody was a little leery of it last week just because of Texas A&M's defense so far this year. Mike Elko after they lost, I think Arkansas hung over 40 on them, and Elko took the play calling over defensively. And they are much improved. And couple that with the fact that the quarterback was out, I just thought that Texas A&M would run away with it. I don't think their defense was enough to stop Missouri's defense was enough to stop Texas A&M. To say Texas A&M's offense is electric and explosive is just an understatement. They are absolutely awesome. And again, we all coach football. You sit there and you break a team down and you say, who do I want to take away on this offense? This opposing offense I'm getting ready for. You say, they might beat me, but they're not going to beat me with this guy. Who do you circle on that roster of Texas A&M? Is it Reed? Is it Concepcion? Is it any one of the 3 running backs? Like, they're so good and they're deep and they're balanced, which is the scary part. Quick comparison on the night. Texas A&M to Missouri. Rushing yards, 243 for A&M, 207 for Missouri. And that's like a hang. That's what Missouri does, right? They want to pound you. They want to get their stable of running backs going. Passing yards, 221 for A&M, right? So 243 rushing, 221 passing. That's pretty balanced stuff. To 77 passing yards for Missouri, which is a season low. Again, Zollers came in. He's the freshman, back up, first time starting, all that stuff. But 77 passing yards, 7 for 14 on third down to 5 for 13 on third down. Here's like the crazy thing, man. Texas A&M had 7 plays of over 20 yards. Big, explosive chunk plays. You got to tip your cap to the OC. You got to tip Colin Klein doing a great job. Like we said, balanced. 7 plays for over 20 yards, 6 specific rushes. If you were to add them together, 176 yards rushing on 6 explosive plays. That's everybody. That's Marcel Reed. That's Ruben Owens. That's the whole squad. But again, Marcel Reed, 20 for 29, 69%, 221 passing, 2 TDs with no INTs. Ruben Owens, 13 carries for 102 yards. Concepcion, I thought he didn't, when the guy gets the ball, something big happens.
Every game.
Every single game. And what's going to happen. 4 receptions, 84 yards. Every time he touched the ball in the pass game, it was a minimum of 20 yards.
Yeah. He's good.
And then,
He's
the little chink in the armor people want to talk about is maybe the Aggie defense. Listen, they let up some yards, 200 yards to one of the better rushing teams in the country. Okay. But that freshman quarterback was harassed all night. They sacked him 2 times. Night. This is 7 sacks in the last 2 games. Elko is dialing it up. And when you have a little bit of a complimentary football with an offense that is that explosive, it's like scary to watch. And the last little thing, and I'll turn it over to you guys, is just this. If we're going to talk about who should be where, right? And again, Texas A&M has to play Texas still. They got some, but they went on the road. That's a road game against Missouri and dominated the game. They shut Missouri out the whole first half. It was not at no point in the game was it close.
No.
And then you sit back and you look at Indiana, who is ranked, where they're ranked, and they struggle to beat Penn State. I don't know. You got to sit back and
lousy 12 o'clock game.
Who is the best team in the country right now? I don't know. I think it is.
I mean, listen. That's something we'll debate, and we'll get into that a little later when we talk about the playoffs. But I think Texas A&M looks very good. They're poised. I've heard, from knowing people that know, we have a friend that knows Coach Elko. Very impressed by him about the way he goes about his way, and he's was a lifelong defensive coordinator for many years, and now is one of the top coaches. And I mean, you got those defensive guys, man. Once they can figure something out. And they can get guys, and you have a guy that's that good. Listen, they can, and especially when you're that explosive offensively. I mean, I like Texas A&M. I like their chances, but we'll see how it all goes. What do you think, Mo?
Yeah, I definitely agree with all that. I mean, there was only a couple flaws from Texas A&M this year, and it was just against LSU, Auburn, Arkansas, and even Missouri in the first half. But great teams find ways to win. Hence why they're 9-0 and 6-0 in the SEC. Like when they need to make a play, they make a play. When they need a big play from like Concepcion or whatever, the guy, every week he's running 60 yards down the field with the ball in his
kick returns, punt returns. Like the guy, he's freaking unreal, man.
Yeah, and it just seems like they're just getting better.
Yeah.
They have some, and they're just going through everybody. And listen, we'll see what happens there. But let's move on, boys. We got to keep moving here. Let's go on to the Oregon Ducks and the Iowa Hawkeyes. Malt, what do we got on this one?
Little win ugly like they like to say, and as long as the mush keeps talking shit, I'm in good hands.
You're squared away.
But I mean, I said last week like I expected them to pound them on the running game, and they definitely did that. I mean, especially when I was bitching about losing the wide receiver and the tight end before the game.
Man, you didn't stop, dude.
He gets
the
me
calls,
fired
the
up for no
this, the
reason.
missing this guy, the missing that guy.
But I don't know. Right
who
when
is
they
this
were,
guy, man?
well, when you roll over at 12 o'clock and it says someone tweets that your number one wide receiver might have tore his ACL, it's kind of a little burner. But.
Yeah. What about when your top 5 wide receivers go down like Oklahoma last year?
But
you know what happens when you're Oregon? You just put the other 5-star kid in right behind him, who's probably going to the NFL. And you're playing a rain game. Oh, you played a shitty rain game anyway. I mean, how, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean, the couple takeaways I got from this game is it was the most 261 yards rushing, was the most rushing yards Iowa's given up in 3 years. I mean, you go off, the O-line was absolutely incredible. You got 0 on 21 passes, 0 pressure, 0 QB hits, 0 sacks, and 7.3 yards per rush. And the refs couldn't save Iowa. I mean, 0 penalties against Iowa, 43 rushes, not a single holding penalty. I mean,
Iowa's an offensive line factory. You know, I'm not gonna say that they didn't help anybody, but they are a. Listen, you could take an all-star group and take everybody that Iowa has in the NFL, take all their guys and also their tight ends and put together like a friggin' nasty 13 personnel team. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I was definitely shaking in my boots when they scored that touchdown. I mean, the play before was clear as day, intentional grounding. Yeah. Quarterback was in the pocket, but I guess the guy wearing the black and the white was the wide receiver in the back of the end zone. So, but they made at the end of the game. I mean, Dante Moore makes that throw to Malik Benson with 33 seconds, throws a dot right on a dime.
Yeah.
It was right when they needed it the most. He came up and made a big play. So that's what I take away from this game, and saves the season. Got to win ugly sometimes.
Well, maybe listen. Now, I mean, it stinks because the only thing I guess that Oregon now they beat Iowa, and Oregon. The only thing I have against Oregon is they don't have a ranked win. You know,
Iowa was 20.
Win.
Iowa was 20. If we want to count that.
What?
Iowa was 20.
Yeah, they were at the time.
Yeah.
But then nobody goes by that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at nobody goes by that, and that's what stinks because at the time they were ranked. But like, you know, you can look at every team in the SEC. Every team was ranked when you played them, and all of a sudden you beat them a couple times, and now you don't have a ranked win. So I mean, that's a little questionable about that. But again, that gets down to the end of the season. You are what your record says you are, and if you're not ranked, you're not ranked. I mean, I guess we can look at it that way.
Yeah.
But I think Oregon is good. I think I don't know, man. I'm just not sold on some of these Big Ten teams yet. I just don't know what to think. I mean, and you know, we're going to argue about that. We're going to talk about it, but Ohio State's freaking schedule. I mean, have they played anybody since they've played Texas?
Nope.
And I mean, they just keep winning, and it's just like it's almost like a snore fest. That's like, oh well, how much did they beat this team by? Did they cover? Did they? That's all you're thinking about with some of these games.
Crazy. Bad
and then
team.
the SEC is like, well, we're going to try to hold on, and hopefully we don't get somebody hurt. So I just think, looking at a lot of these Big Ten teams, they're going to roll into the playoffs 100% healthy. And that comes back down to, you know, is it like by playing these conferences that are, and let's be honest, I think all in all, I mean, people are going to argue that the Big Ten's better. Some people can argue that. I think it's not even close, and these teams are going to beat the crap out of each other, and what's going to be left at the end of the year? You know, that's what we got to see how it all works out, in my opinion, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, definitely.
All right, so now looking into next week, we have some big, huge games, especially for us guys, you know, selfishly for us. So first we'll start off with Boomer Sooner, the 7-2. Number 12 ranked Sooners traveling to Tuscaloosa, Alabama to tangle with the number 4 ranked 8-1
Let's go
Crimson Tide. I mean,
Can't wait.
Can't wait. You know, this is the game that I thought my son was going to be doing his thing over, but he chose something else because he had to get. And I keep telling him, "You knucklehead, what are you doing?" I mean, I didn't realize too. It's like their Veterans Day celebration. I'm like, dude, but I think it is at risk because of the government, you know, shutdown. So we'll see how whatever happens with that. But I mean, you can't ask for a better atmosphere as far as Alabama. I mean, it's one of the best in the country. But again, we all know the key to Oklahoma is John Mateer. And he even talked about in an interview I saw him talk about it, which Kai, you talked about it too last week when the fan grabbed his hands and he squinted and he said, definitely not going to be putting that hand up for fans anymore, and said something about it. And I'm hoping that, he's back to himself now and he's all good. But again, he's missed a couple games this year. He's got 8 TDs, 7 picks. Top receiver, Isaiah Zatania, needs to come out big. And we need to get some of these other receivers on board with the Oklahoma attack. I mean, the second best guy in my book for them as far as making plays is their H-back, tight end, Jaron Kanak, who's been one of the top tight ends in the country as far as, catches, yards, all those kind of stats and everything. He's a good blocker and everything. I like the way they use him. And then, running back now, Torrey Baylock has kind of taken over the where it was like a committee for a while, and we wondered who was going to step up. He seems like he's the guy that's kind of stepped up a little bit. He's coming in with like 400 yards right now. So, but again, we know the strength of Oklahoma is the defense. I mean, they are the second best for defense in college football. Giving up only 14 points a game with the schedule they've played. Last weekend without one of their linebackers and without R. Mason Thomas, who got hurt in the game. I'm hoping that, right now I haven't seen much about it, but hoping Kip Lewis and Kobe McKenzie can, come back in there and we're going to need them to basically deal with Alabama's rushing attack, which is not, listen, I'm not saying it's like, saying it's not the best, of course, but I mean, their passing game is good and they run the ball when they need to, but it hasn't been, I guess, up to Alabama standards as far as rushing the ball, their running game. But the Sooners can, if they can make Alabama one-dimensional, I like their chances, man. If they can stop the run and confuse them, because Oklahoma will definitely be breaking stuff out to confuse them. We know how good Venables is as a defensive coordinator. And, they've done very well against opponents. And I like their chances. I like what they're going to be able to do. I love Venables and his plans. And I also think, listen, I told you, Alabama, I think, is a well-coached team. And I know DeBoer is going to have answers, and their staff is going to have answers. And it's going to be kind of a chess match in my book when I'm thinking about what I'm going to be watching here. But, I'm just hoping that, like I said, that's the big thing I think is, can they make them one-dimensional? And we'll see if they can. But, the Tide's offensive game, as far as the running backs with Miller and Haynes, they're tough. But if Oklahoma can stop them, I like their chances. And also, but again, you got to deal with Ty Simpson, who's been awesome back there at quarterback.
He's the guy, man. He really is.
He's tough. He's tough. He's a leader. I like the way he plays. I mean, I'm a fan of Alabama. I love the way they play. I love everything about their stadium, how they do everything. But unfortunately for them, the Sooners to come to town, I like the Sooners' chances, man. What do you guys think?
Matchup wise, I think it's awesome for Oklahoma. Just because, like you said, I think that, if this was the old school Nick Saban Bama, I'd say not so much. But it's not. It's a precision passing, more of a finesse offense that plays more into Venables' hands. He's going to dial some stuff up. That. They're going to hit him for some losses. They're going to get him into some obvious passing downs. And that's where he thrives. And then offensively, it just seemed like when the game was on the line last week, it seemed like Arbuckle, he started calling the Mateer runs, and the RPO game and the Mateer ride read game, and then him just making some plays off script and rush and scrambling. That's what has been missing, because Oklahoma doesn't have really non-Mateer consistent run game, which is something that's hurt them throughout the whole year.
That's what's gotten better in the last.
They're getting better. They're getting better.
That has been. I mean, they've gone to like 160 yards a game. They're averaging now, which has been a big jump for them. And it's been, recently it hasn't been as much Mateer, which is what I'm happy to see finally. And again, I told you,
broke the game open against Tennessee, though. I mean, it did. He made some good throws, but he also had some big rushes.
Yeah.
And that's what helped him beat Michigan. That's what kept him in some games. So again, it's good. Matchup wise, I think the Governor's off. I think they have nothing to lose. It's not like they're undefeated or anything like that. They got to win.
Oh, it's a must win.
It's a must-win game, so they're going to run Mateer as much as they need to. They're going to do whatever they need to do. Arbuckle's got no shackles on, right? And then I just think Venables is going to dial it up. And again, it's not like a team that's going to line up in some heavy sets and pound you and kind of take, game planning defensively out of it. It's going to be a chess match. And I think Oklahoma, in terms of just stylistically, this is a good matchup for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, can Bama complete the gauntlet of 7 straight SEC victories? And I've still been researching it, and I can't find a single team that's come anywhere close to that. Like, great victories against SEC opponents, like straight victories, not play a shit team, come back, play an SEC team, but whatever. I mean, I think Alabama's going to gear up for like a pass-heavy game here because, obviously Oklahoma's defense is absolutely insane, and I think their D-line is going to get it done and stop their ground game. But they've given up over 300 yards passing in the last 2 games. They've still gotten the win. They've still gotten the wins. But I think for Alabama to win, I think Ty Simpson's going to have to come back here, and I think he's going to have to throw a lot of passes, complete a lot of passes, and I think it's going to have to be I think he's going to have to throw for like 300 yards to win his game. Or it could just be a 10-10 game going into half, 14-10. Whoever scores the next touchdown, you might think could break us open. But I like Oklahoma's chances in this. Every single team has won a game where people have doubted them. So, and 7 straight is absolutely insane. But I think Oklahoma, will stop the run. Bama's been they've been switching running backs. They've been kind of getting away from the starter and everything. But like you were saying, like you guys were saying, got to go back to the Mateer offense. And I kind of think Oklahoma moves like Vanderbilt moves with Pavia. Like if Pavia's balling, Oklahoma's scoring. If Mateer's catching run all over the place, I think they're explosive here. And I think this could be a victory for Oklahoma here. I'm going to go out on a limb.
Yep.
Definitely.
All right. Well, now we're going to move on to another big game. A lot of ranked games this weekend, but in my opinion, another must-win for number 10, 7-2 Texas Longhorns at number 5, 8-1 Georgia Bulldogs.
So
between the hedges, Coach, what do we got?
7:30 Eastern kickoff, man. The Horns go to Athens. They got to play Kirby Smart and the Bulldogs in between the hedges, and that's brutal. Couple little things here. Obviously, everything's on the line here. Must-win situation, very similar to Oklahoma for the Longhorns. They have 2 losses. They have a loss in the conference. It's not a good loss. There's a lot of things. And as far as Texas and Georgia go specifically, Georgia has kind of been like the boogeyman for Texas. I think Texas has 3 total losses since joining the SEC. 2 of them are to Georgia last year in the same season. Listen, man, they're a tough matchup. And then the last thing is just as far as Georgia's concerned, they kind of Georgia, I think, is in the driving seat a little bit. That being said, this is their last SEC game before playoffs and conference champion and everything gets, this is their last conference game. They're going to go play Charlotte and then Georgia Tech. So to make a statement with the playoff committee and everything else, I just think that, this is a big game for them. I'll just talk about for a second what I consider to be, other people may disagree, the A side of the matchup. That being Texas's defense against Georgia's offense. I don't think Georgia is this year what they have been in the past defensively. Some teams have scored some points on them and had some success. Georgia offensively, they're averaging 33.4 points per game and 197 rushing yards per game on average. So, again, they want to punch you in the face. They want to establish the run. Sometimes they fail to establish the run. They didn't really do a good job running the ball against a couple teams, but they're going to try. It's not going to be for lack of effort. They're going to run the ball. They want to punch you in the mouth. Blood Tuesday, Blood Tuesday, Blood Tuesday. And this is going to be a little bit of a unstoppable force versus a movable object kind of thing, because Texas's run defense is friggin' nasty. Their defense as a whole is very good, but right now they are boasting tied. I think they're tied for second in the country against for rush yards per game, and they're first in the country at sacks per game with 3.8. So they're coming on. That wasn't the case earlier on in the season. They're starting to just get pressure and they're starting to get home with their front 4. Simmons is an absolute stud. He's a game wrecker. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how that shakes down. Again, I think Georgia is going to be one of the better offensive teams that Texas has seen, but who knows? Arch Manning, a lot of criticism. We all know, we talk about it every week. It's like getting old. The kid came out, everybody was anointing him Heisman, this, that, and the third, and he had some big time struggles. I think he's gotten better I watched every Texas game. I think he's gotten better every week. He had some bad problems. They have seemingly got better. And the thing that I'll say about the kid is this. In the biggest game, on the biggest stages with the brightest lights, he does the best job. I thought he played excellent against Oklahoma. The ball wasn't really in his hands as much as it was in previous games, but he did a great job. And then I thought phenomenal game against Vanderbilt, right? So the bigger the stage, he rises to the
Ohio State, he wasn't very good.
What?
Ohio State, he wasn't very good.
He was horrible. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying,
when they're the number one team in the country and you're playing,
you're right about that. But then they go on and take on Oklahoma, and he just friggin' outdueled John Mateer, who everybody was saying was the Heisman guy before that game.
Come on, he was coming off the injury, dude. Come on.
I guess, dude. Not according to him, he wasn't. So I'm just going by what I'm going by.
You know he was going to play.
I'm just going by what John Mateer says. So Gunnar Stockton, in my opinion, listen, man. Huge upgrade from Carson Beck, right? Is he like this prolific guy? No, but he comes up big in big moments. They have fought teams to the end of the game, and he makes big plays. The stat that stands out to me in regards to Gunnar Stockton is he's got 2 interceptions right now. He takes care of the football. Georgia, you want to talk about winning ugly? I feel like that's the only thing they do is win ugly. You know what I mean? Both teams, both Texas and Georgia, have been in overtime, have won in overtime, have played games all the way to the fourth quarter. So the only thing I'll say is this. What Texas shows up? This is going to be the same thing I said last week. What version do we get? Do we get the team that played Kentucky? Do we get the team that played Florida? Do we get that Texas? Or do we get the Red River Shootout Texas? Do we get the Vanderbilt game Texas? And the thing that just gives me a little bit of comfort is I think John Mateer is an excellent quarterback. I think Diego Pavi is an excellent quarterback, and I think Julian Sayin is an excellent quarterback. And every one of those guys had a lot of difficulty with the Texas defense.
I don't know if listen, Diego Pavi in that second half. I mean, he went.
The wheels fell off, Z. But before, I'll say through quarters 1 through 3, the kid couldn't do shit.
Yeah, well,
so again,
I mean, that's what happens. I mean, that's the thing about Texas, like. And this is my question on Texas is, like, they seem to have been playing a half a game. You know, they'll come out and they play a half a game, whoever they're playing. We don't know which half it's going to be.
Yep.
And, they haven't put together a full game effort at all this year.
Yep.
And I don't know what's going to show up from them. I don't know who's going to show up. And we're going to find out right here. I mean, this is it doesn't get any bigger than this game. And, if Texas – one thing I like about Georgia is I just love like the way this team rallies around Gunnar Stockton is awesome. I mean, the guy is just one of those guys that the whole team loves. They love the way he plays. They were crying. They wanted him to get in there last year because I don't think they really liked, Carson Beck as a leader.
Who does? I don't think Carson Beck's own parents like Carson Beck.
But I just don't know. Like that's the only thing I have with Texas is, again, at times we always talk about it like, which play caller is going to show up in Sark? Is it going to be like, hey, look at Kirby Smart, I'm smarter than you, here we go? Or is it going to be like, I'm going to try to pound you a little bit? And who knows? You'll see what the game goes. And hopefully, Sark is for his sake, he's, shrinks his ego a little bit and does what's best for the team and what seems to be working against Georgia. And he sticks with it and pounds it rather than, hey, look what I can do, some kind of stuff. And we'll see. We'll see what happens, and that's my biggest concern. And it seems like at the second half of the game, you can say Georgia always plays first half tough, but the second half is, okay, here we go. And I think their kids and everybody believe that they're going to win the game in the second half.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens, and then especially being home, with that crowd behind them, it's going to be a great atmosphere. I can tell you that much.
Yep.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, for me, I mean, all eyes on Arch. This is a big game for him, big game for his future. And I don't know if you saw this kite. You probably did, but Texas head coach stated that Ryan Wingo, Michael Taffy, and Jelani McDonald all practice this week with no setback.
Has been practicing, dude. They're ready. They're rested and they're ready, dude.
Perfect timing for the bye week to come. Get them a little rested. I mean, Georgia, tough team at home. Can't knock them. Texas, you got to get the lead in the first half. Everyone seems to get up on them in the first half, and then you play football from there. Go in the locker room 0-0, pretend it's 0-0, and play football from there. But protective football is huge. Big atmosphere. I mean, a little revenge game from the SEC championship last year, overtime loss. Kind of want it. But is Texas ready to shake the college football playoff stand? I think they are. I mean, I'm rooting for both of your guys' teams this week. Gunnar Stockton, been amazing at home. 8 touchdowns, 1 interception, 155.3 passing rating. I mean, the guy, like you said, Kite only got 2 picks on the year.
That's saying something, dude.
15 touchdowns, 2 picks, over 2,000 yards passing. So, I mean, why isn't he getting talked about the Heisman? Why is it just Mendoza and Simpson?
I don't know.
But, I mean, yeah, another huge game in the SEC, and college football is getting amazing with this money.
Yeah. All right, last game we're going to talk about for next week, for this week coming up. Sorry. We have the number 9 ranked 7-2 Fighting Irish of Notre Dame traveling to number 22 7-2 Pittsburgh Panthers. Another game where College Game Day will be on site in Pitt for the first time, and I believe it's 25 years. So should be a great atmosphere up there. I know you hear stuff about like McAfee's ready to go nuts because it's his hometown kind of stuff. He's from Pittsburgh, but he did go to West Virginia, so he's going to make it nuts up there. So it's going to be an awesome atmosphere up there, except for a couple things going on. But go ahead, Walt, get into it, baby.
So I don't know who. Maybe that's why they picked this game day to go there to Pitt because of McAfee. But you should go to Bama or Georgia. That's where
who the hell made that decision? That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
I think they've already been there this year.
Who cares?
I know, but that's what they try to do, and now what do they do? That's what they do.
All right.
They try to plan it out good.
We're going to talk about the coach's media day. I mean, reporter asked him if it's a must-win game and you're newly ranked 22 Pitt. You're versus the 9 team. You got 2 ranked teams with Miami and Georgia Tech coming up. Maybe you get a chance to make the playoffs. You get 3 straight wins. But Coach Pat Narduzzi states absolutely not. It's not an ACC game. I'd gladly get beat 103-10 or 110-10. They could put up 100 on us as long as we win the next 2. So what a loser. I mean, what, like when you go to practice the next day, what everyone's looking at you like, dude, you're a jerk off.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard a guy say.
Yeah, and especially when, I mean, they're coming in with the number 3 ranked defense, rushing defense, and we know what Notre Dame specializes in with the helm of freaking Jeremiah Love. So they're coming in as a 12.5 point underdog. They've covered three straight games, and they're playing well. This is obviously must win for Notre Dame because if you lose this, you could throw the hopes of making the playoffs out of the water. And I got a funny stat here, though. Maybe this is why the coach said it. In the last 2 matchups at Notre Dame's versus Pitt, the combined score was 103-10. I don't know if he's I don't know if he's just trying to play the game.
It must have been in his head.
But holy cow! I mean, he's got to pick it up. It's got to be better than that. What do you guys think?
So you're gonna sit there and you're gonna say, you know what? Let's flush our potential national championship playoff hopes down the toilet to win our friggin' conference. It's just the team.
Well, you can't say that because he is right. They win the next 2 and they win the division. They are in the playoffs. This game really, essentially, in the overall scheme, which I would never say to my team, really doesn't mean anything as far as their goals. It's an out of conference game. I mean, as much as you don't, I don't want to say it, but it's like kind of the things that you never want to tell your team. But again, if he went into the team and said, guys, listen, I'm going to say some things in this press conference, and all I'm going to do is make Notre Dame think that we don't even think there's going to be a game. that we don't care about this game. We're not even worried about it. We're looking ahead is all I'm going to say. It's going to change the focus of everything off of you guys and put it all on me. And we're going to get them to think that we're not worried about it. And then we're going to come out and kick their friggin' ass. So if he says something like that to the team and he comes out and does it, and that's what he did, awesome freaking Mr. Miyagi mind screwing with everybody. I love it. But who knows? Maybe he did. Pat Narduzzi's been around a long time. He's been a very good defensive coach for years. So who knows? We'll see. What do you guys think about that idea?
I just in terms of playoff committee, when you're ranking teams and you're thinking about things, and I know conference champ is a big thing and all that, but
it's everything for the ACC
I'm
because that's
aware
the only way somebody's getting in.
The only thing I'll say to you is this. Look at Texas A&M, right? Right now, what's their best win?
Notre Dame.
It is Notre Dame. You know, and they're in the SEC. And their best win, their hang-your-hat win, their argument to be over a lot of these other teams is they beat Notre Dame. So it's like, I don't know, man. Look, listen, you gotta go beat 2 ranked conference teams on the road. I mean, if you win this
some
game,
pretty good teams,
and they're not bad. That's what I'm saying. So if you win this game and you flub one of those games, you have an argument. So it's just like, I don't know why you would say that. It just sounds like you got to have Viking, burn the boat. We got to kill everybody, slaughter everybody mentality. I think in November right now in college football, and that just listen, Z, if he's doing some friggin' Jedi mind trick shit, then I'm worried about scoring points, and I don't know. I thought it was soft. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was like unnecessary.
No, listen, that's what we all think, but I'm just wondering, like, the guy's been around for a long time. I mean, one of the longest tenured coaches. I mean, he's been a head coach all over the place, a couple places. So, is he doing that? I don't know. All I'm saying is, I just gave him. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully, I'm going to try to. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Now we're going to move on. We're going to talk a little college football rankings here. All right. Now we have the rankings. Okay, so we'll start from number 1 going down, and we'll get the first maybe I don't know. We'll see how far we'll go here. We got, Ohio State at number 1. I mean, we'll see. I am right now. I don't know. I'm not impressed by much right now. We'll see when they play somebody. I mean, they got a dogfight with Texas when Arch was one of the most horrible-looking quarterbacks in the country at that point of the year.
What's their best win?
Yeah, it still is that. It
was a dogfight win over Texas.
Yeah.
Their second best win's Illinois.
I mean, it's just, we'll see. Illinois was, I mean, I don't know. And then, listen, we'll see what they're going to do. And, I mean, we'll see what happens with the Big Ten championship. I guess we'll get a little taste of it. But I'm just not sure if honestly, all these teams deserve to be up here or not. But, I mean, Indiana, you can't argue. They went to Oregon and beat Oregon. So you got to tip your hat there for Indiana. I mean, I don't even know what they got for the rest of the season. Are there any ranked teams left for them?
No, they only played 2 ranked teams all year.
There's 3 good teams in the whole conference.
Well, they did they play USC?
Yes.
Yeah, they beat USC, right?
No, they play them still, I think.
Okay, they play. Okay, I know they got that. Yeah, because that's going to be a good tester. They're a high-powered offense, USC. And then A&M is sitting at 3, and also they look really good. They're playing the SEC. Again, their best win is against.
No, they don't play. They don't play Indiana.
No.
Okay.
USC plays them. That's what I got confused.
Right.
No, it's USC's got Iowa, Oregon, and UCLA.
Okay. All right. All right. So listen, we'll see. I guess we're going to have to find out in the Big Ten championship game, And then Texas A&M sitting at 3. Their best win is against who?
Notre Dame.
And
Notre Dame's good.
That was a gift. We all said it.
I agree. But
that was horrible. That was one of the worst officiated games I couldn't believe what happened in the end of that game.
Can I say one thing though?
Yeah, go.
They won it. I agree with you, and I said the same thing. They did get a gift. It was horribly officiated, but they won. And even if they lost, it was like a razor thin. And then they just went out and stomped the shit out of Missouri. And again, Missouri's down their quarterback and the whole thing, but Missouri's a run-first team. Bo Prabula being in that game, I don't think would have really helped them much anyway. So again, so you're going to say body of work-wise, right? And we're talking undefeateds versus undefeateds. It's like Texas A&M has a win over Notre Dame, who's friggin' good, okay, and Missouri. Those are both of, or either one of those wins is better than anything friggin' I mean, like, Indiana has the win over Oregon, but again, Oregon, this is no offense to you, Maul. It's like, what's their big hang your hat win? A win over a razor tight win over Iowa. The number one team in the country's best win is over. It's a tight. Ohio State has a tight victory over Texas, who right now isn't even the top 4 team in the SEC. It's like you got to take all this shit with a grain of salt right now, man. You really do.
And listen, it's all going to play itself out. So it's just fun stuff. It's going to play itself out. I know
last
with
year
some of the games coming up
in the SEC,
not the Big Ten. But the Big Ten is the only thing that's going to play itself out is who's going to win it, and if the third team is going to get in.
Exactly.
That's what I look at. Is that going to happen? Do they deserve to have 3 teams in? I mean, at the end of the thing, if we're arguing right now, like look right now, you have Bama right now and you have Georgia. What the hell happens if Texas and Oklahoma beat Bama and Georgia right now? And they're all sitting there at 2 losses, and then Texas at the end of the year, comes out and beats Texas A&M, who has a loss, and the Big Ten, the SEC just has 5 monsters that are going to be like, well, what are you going to do with us here? And then we're not even talking about Ole Miss, who's sitting there with 1 win, with 1 loss.
Let me ask you a question. Ohio State, hypothetically, let's just say hypothetical game, Ohio State goes and plays Indiana for a championship, right? And one of those teams has to lose. So one of them is going to be undefeated, and the other one is going to have 1 loss to what you would assume would be ranked the number 1 team in the country. Both of those teams are going to get in. You have to turn around and say, does a third team get in? But you say, like, it's going to sort itself out. The SEC is going to 100% sort itself out moving forward these last couple games. But the Big Ten is not. And the reason why is...
that's where you're missing. I think it could, because once it's all over and said and done, it's going to be the body of work. And we've seen a change at the last minute. It's going to be the body of work, And I hate to say it, but if these other teams, like if I say like Texas and Oklahoma, if they go out and win and then they win out, I'm sorry, Oregon's going to be left out. They're going to look at this if they don't have a ranked win, and they're going to say they don't deserve it. That's what I think could happen if again, unless Ohio State or Indiana trip up somewhere else in Oregon. I mean, how does it work as far as the playoff for the Big Ten, Walt? Who is going to be? I mean, as far as the Big Ten championship, like. Who's got the track for the is it right now? Is it Indiana and Ohio State?
Yeah,
they're playing.
Oregon needs Michigan to beat Ohio State to get in.
Which is, listen, that can happen. I mean, that can happen very easily. And then it's like there's Ohio State get in with that loss to Michigan, who's now Michigan is ranked. They're up there now. They're moving on up. They got 1 loss to Oklahoma. I mean, so if Michigan beats them and Oklahoma beats Alabama, and Alabama's where they are, and Oklahoma's going to be moving up a lot, So
100%.
Yeah. Ole Miss, they beat Oklahoma. They're going to have, I don't know their schedule if I don't have it in front of me, but they're going to have some tough games coming up.
Ole Miss's schedule actually is pretty easy. I looked it up.
Yeah. And so Indiana's got Wisconsin and Purdue for Indiana. They got Wisconsin and Purdue. That's
okay. So we can basically, those are 2 wins right there. Those are 2 wins.
Ole Miss plays Florida and Mississippi State, which are 2 very winnable games. It's not, you know what I mean? They're conference games, but they're winnable, man. They're the bottom of the.
I mean, listen, we know Florida, they can upset anybody, coach. You know that.
And not Florida.
Texas Tech's got UCF and West Virginia.
Florida's looking good, man. Ba's getting the ball a lot more.
Yeah.
So
Texas Tech, I mean, their biggest win right now is, who do they have? Their biggest win is against BYU, and they don't have anything else. So another one right there we're going to look at. We're going to see these things, but again, if they're Big 12 champs, then they deserve to get there. That's what we said, And you have nothing. But again, all these teams, Notre Dame, when it comes down to it, I mean, you could see the people arguing about Notre Dame.
Well, their biggest win's USC.
Yeah, the biggest wins USC, but also like
look at their
the
two
nail biter
losses
with
though.
Texas A&M, and then you look at look at Miami. Miami's like way off the list right now, right? They're down low. Vanderbilt's ahead of them, right? In the rankings, I think they're sitting at like what is this now? That's 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 right now. So Vanderbilt has 0 ranked wins, 0-2 versus current ranked teams, lost by 16 to Alabama, taken overtime by Auburn. Miami, 2 ranked wins, 1 top 10 win, 2-1 versus current ranked teams, and they lost to Louisville, who's number 20, and they lost to SMU in overtime. So I think they got a better, resume right now ahead of, even though, I mean, that's my look at it right now, and that's the things that we're going to see how it all plays out. And that's why I think some of this is going to play itself out. And, again, like we said, Michigan, to throw a monkey wrench into this, and we'll see how it all works out, man. It's going to be pretty cool. And I know it's like tough. It's fun to argue it, but I think a lot of it is going to work its way out, because we all know somebody's going to upset somebody somewhere. It's going to happen. It always
this week,
does.
baby.
Yeah.
One of your guys' teams.
Yeah.
Shake it up.
We got to get moving here to finish it off here, boys. All right, Coaches Pick'em Challenge over here. All right, so last week I went I did it Oregon and 3. My freaking Arkansas State didn't they didn't cover. I think they lost flat out to Southern Miss. Mississippi State and Georgia, that was a blowout. I thought Mississippi State could do it. Ohio State and Purdue, they didn't cover, but I don't think they covered by 29. I think it was 25. I'm pretty sure I had to go back and check it, but
24.
Yeah. So this week, my picks. Here we go. Tulane minus 16.5 over FAU. I am going Illinois minus 14.5 over Maryland. And then I'm going to put my money where my heart is, and I'm taking Oklahoma plus 6.5 over Bama.
Nice.
Coach, you up? I mean,
I was 2-1. I got screwed by I thought Florida State would have a chance to beat Clemson by a field goal. I was wrong. They dropped every pass that was thrown. It was like ridiculous. This week I'm going Louisville minus 2.5 over Clemson. I got to stay out of the ACC, but I don't know why. I can't stand Clemson, and I think Louisville is going to get the job done. I'm taking BYU. Minus 4.5 on a bounce back over TCU. I don't think TCU has the defense Texas Tech did. And then my last pick of the week, unfortunately, I just have to do it. Alabama minus 5.5.
No faith
over Oklahoma.
No faith
At
in
home,
your boys, huh?
In Tuscaloosa.
No faith in your boys.
They got to beat Boomer by a touchdown. Ty Simpson's gonna make it rain. I'm taking the Roll Tide, baby.
No faith in your boys.
As for me, went 1 for 2 last week. UCF.
Choking Longhorns. No faith in them.
UCF was terrible. And my other pick was Oregon, which sucked. So, whatever. But this week, I'm going Texas plus 5.5 against Georgia. And then, I guess the first one we'll go to a little Maction. We're going Central Michigan minus 1.5 tonight over Buffalo. Texas getting 5.5 to Georgia. And I'm going to go with LSU giving 5.5 to Arkansas. I think new coach, a little bounce back. Arkansas put up a couple points in the recent games, but I think LSU looked a little tough against Bama last week. I'll take them here.
All right, we got to finish it off here, boys. Road runner of the week. Sorry, Mark. Go with your picks.
Picks of the week here. 16 for 17. Can't catch a freaking break. This week we're going Texas plus 7.5. Central Michigan money line and minus. We're going to buy half a point and make it -1. And I'm going to buy a point on Duke and get them Duke minus 3.5 against Virginia at home. And we hit the parlay last week, the 3-legger, so we're going to throw out another one. We'll take LSU money line, Texas plus 10.5, and Utah money line against Baylor plus 177.
All right, we got to finish this off real quick. Runner of the week. Giving this one to Diego Pavia. Vandy quarterback, 377 passing, 3 TDs, 114 rushing, and 1 TD. Coach, head on it.
Headhunter of the week here, 14 tackles, 9 solo, 5 assisted, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 fumble recovery, 1 interception. Your headhunter of the week goes out to Jacob Rodriguez, Texas Tech linebacker.
Oh, okay.
36
Heisman.
rushes, 261 yards, 7.3 yard average with 0 sacks. The second time Fools of the Week, the Oregon Ducks.
Let's go, baby.
Best line money could buy, baby. There we go. All right, guys, good job. Maybe one of you
Good
guys,
job, coaches.
one day, Coach Kite, update your picks, please. Thank you. All right, thank
can't
you.
do it, Coach. Sorry about that. I tried doing it. It wouldn't work.
Stop.
In the drive?
I went right in the drive, dude. Couldn't do it.
I know you don't know how to. You got to write edit when you click on it on your phone.
I clicked at it. I'm doing it on my phone. It won't do
All
it.
right.
I could change.
All right, we're done, right?
Yes.
Yeah.